All right, a little more than 2 months until the ride east, and my plan is to be in DC for Rolling Thunder. And I realized a little while ago that even though I'll be in Rolling Thunder, one of the things I probably should do is have an American flag for the motorcycle. But I don't have an American flag until recently. I don't have American flag pole for the motorcycle, and I don't have any of the mounting systems or brackets. So I looked online, and all of those things get pretty expensive after a while. They start to add up. You can't just buy the pole. You got to buy the pole and the flag, and then you got to buy the mounting system. And before you know it, you're at least $50 into it. So I found a video online of a guy who did a do-it-yourself motorcycle flagpole. So I looked at it. I thought it was pretty cool, and I'm going to do it myself, but I'm going to make some changes to it. I'm going to show you those changes as we do it. Let's go over here to the workbench. Ignore the rest of the garage. So I found a company online that sells nylon flags, and I got a beautiful motorcycle nylon flag. I love this thing. I got the sleeve kind, not the grommets, and I also got a custom flag. A beautiful thing, also with the sleeve. So here's all the supplies I got to make my own flagpole kit. The guy in the video uses a one of those plastic reflectors that you stick in the ground, usually at the end of your driveway. Mine is going to be metal. This is a round rod zinc 1/4 inch pole that I got from Home Depot. I'll explain why I went this route rather than the plastic route in a little bit. I also got some insulated cable clamps. Now these are 3/8 inch, which is the smallest size that Home Depot sells. This is a 1/4 inch pole, 3/8 inch clamp. Doing the best I can. I just thought that a 3/8 inch pole was overkill for what I needed. Also pretty heavy. So I have ways to make sure that the pole fits into the clamp. I'm going to talk about that in a second. The guy also got some coarse brass plated nuts, cap nuts, which is a nice little fitting for the flagpole. Here is the heat shrink the guy at Home Depot recommended I get. The heat shrink will go over the pole. You apply a little heat to it like from a match, and it takes a slick surface, insulates it, and makes it a more sticky surface. And if that doesn't work, good old-fashioned vinyl electric tape. So let's see if this can work. By the way, all these supplies together, $13.07. Let's build this thing. All right, so the first step is to cut this rod in half. I've already marked it and started cutting with the Dremel. You can see right there. It's going to take a while, but cut this in half and you've got 2 flagpoles. So after cutting the pole in half and filing it down, best to make sure there aren't any little nips or cuts there. Once you're on the road, you don't want to, rip your gloves just because there's a little metallic hanging chad there. So file it down, and then I took the heat shrink and I cut off a 1/4 inch over the edge and just put it so there's a little bit hanging over it. Then you break the match, as I did. Take the match and you just hold it underneath the heat shrink And that creates a nice little cap on top of the pole. And then, once that's done, you take your finial, slide it right on top. Just we'll screw it there. Now it's not glued on permanently, but it's got a pretty tight fit. For most purposes, a tight fit is good enough for this. There you go, flagpole and finial, right there. So when I finally remove the clamp from the bag, these are the 3/8 inch. There's no way that that's going to tighten down enough to hold the pole in place. So this is why I got the electrical tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the electrical tape around the bottom of the flagpole, make it thick enough so we get a nice grip with the clamp. Alright, so here is the finished product. Got the brass nut as the finial, slide down, and here's the clamps. I had to wrestle with the getting the bolts through the clamps. It's not a perfect fit, so I actually had to play with it with some pliers and some needle nose pliers, but I've got them through. Same thing over here, and my flagpoles are ready to go. One last thing I have to point out is that I actually had put a bend in each of the poles so they actually go upright. So there you have it. Rolling Thunder, here I come.